How's it going, Vikings fans? Welcome back into the Skol Experience. There's a familiar face missing today, and that is Dave. He is on a business trip in London. Good for him. So we are joined today by Justin of Purple and Gold for Days and Rap of Purple Pocket Podcast. Fellas, how's it going tonight?
Good, man. Appreciate y'all having us on tonight, man. We're gonna get to it. It's a party tonight. You already know.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Jamie, how we feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I'm ready for the off season to officially start. Super Bowl is going to be cool. I'm rooting, you know, of course, like most Viking fans, I don't think we want the Eagles to win this one. So I'm rooting for Kansas City. What do you guys, I guess we can talk about that. I mean, Super Bowl's, that's a big deal, right? I mean, I know we're not part of it, but
it's okay, I guess.
So without us, it's not, even though we've never seen it. Hopefully, maybe next year. I don't know. We'll find out. But what are you guys thinking on the Super Bowl?
Go ahead.
What you guys got? You guys
honestly, listen, I want Patrick Mahomes to throw for 750 yards in the first half. I want what's the backup, Chad Henne? I want him to play the entire fourth quarter because they stomping at Eagles. But I mean, listen, it's not even about the Eagles team or their players. It's just, as we all know, it's just about their fans.
Yep,
okay?
Right. I agree 100%.
You know, I was listening to a podcast earlier. There's like, I don't understand why the Vikings are so bitter. It's just because they beat you. It has nothing to do with that they beat us. It has to do with the fact that if you walked into a mall in any area in this country and you threw a full beer can at somebody, you'd be arrested for assault. But somehow, some way, that's tough-nosed fandom if it's outside in the parking lot. You know, the price of eggs has skyrocketed. Everybody wants to point fingers. And point fingers at Philly fans, chucking it at the other fans coming in. So, no, I want Kansas City all day.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas City for sure. For the obvious, my wife is from Kansas City. Her whole side of her family are Chiefs fan, so like that's by default my secondary team. You know what I mean? I just don't rep. I mean, because I can't rep two teams, but when they make it, I'm repping them. You know what I'm saying? I just love them. And you know, R.I.P. to my father-in-law, my wife's father. He passed away this year, and it would be amazing for the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl for him, man, for sure.
Hell yeah, man!
I'm going Chiefs all day.
And I think they're gonna, because like the Eagles didn't look that good for going against a fourth-string quarterback. So. Like, I don't know.
Let's get some shout outs here. Cody, that's a buddy of mine, Skol, man. The McAndrews, Evening Guys, Dave Thibodeau, Skol, Warlord of Art, Skol Guys, Casey for sure. Yeah, I mean, we gotta go against the Eagles. And I really like Patrick Mahomes. I think he's, in my opinion, probably the best talent at quarterback I've ever seen.
He is.
Fly sure. Eagles fly. He's trolling. I know he's trolling. But as we're here, I want to also say we are going to give away at the end of the show Justin Jefferson rookie card. This is like a blue one, so it's a little special. Actually, Justin won our last one from Monday. So anybody that knows this, all you got to do to enter is hashtag Skol in the comments. At the end of the show, we'll give it away. Hashtag Skol in the comments is all you got to do. Let me get this running right away here. Start collecting. So hashtag Skol.
Boy.
The only other thing you got to do is subscribe to our channels: GG Sports Podcast, Minnesota Sports Talk, Purple Pocket Podcast, and Purple and Gold for Days. So I'll give you guys some time to go do that.
Facts. And look, if y'all are watching the content, y'all aren't hitting the like button, y'all ain't subscribing, you're thieves. All right, I'm gonna just let it be known right now, y'all are stealing, bro. Like, support your content creators, man, for sure. So especially GG Sports Podcast, them fellas be putting in work. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so for the ones that be tapping in with them, y'all better be hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button, man, for sure. Support the fellas, man.
Thanks, man. And of course, them too. Minnesota Sports Talk. Dave's not here. Rap Purple Pocket Podcast. They're always grinding, putting shit out all the time. And Justin too. I mean, Justin, you started your channel pretty recently, right? Like your solo thing, kind of.
Yeah, it was like middle of October. It was right after the Miami game, whatever that was, mid-October, whatever it was.
Yep.
So
and he's putting in the work too. So subscribe to everybody here.
Facts.
Hashtag Skol, all easy. Hashtag Skol in the comments. That's all you got to do.
Let's go.
Nano Joe, what up, Kirk Cousins' ass fam?
Hey, what's up, my boy Nano, man? My boy Nano be going in on Kirk, man. That's
Nano,
a fact.
man? Good to see you, man.
He'll be going in on Kirk.
Would you rather have Rodgers stay in Green Bay or see Green Bay get a first and second round pick for him? I'd rather see Green Bay get a first and second round pick for him because they'd probably screw him up anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to see Green Bay, for the first time in 3 decades, not have a Hall of Fame quarterback, just to get those fans to understand what it is actually like. You've got people that don't even understand what it is to not have a Hall of Fame quarterback in that town. So, no, I mean, first off, I don't know that they're going to be able to get that much for him because the guy is, 39 years old. He's got a $50 million cap hit and all this other stuff. I don't even know that they could get that much for him, to be honest with you. But, no, I definitely would say get him out of there and let the pain start for the Packer fans.
Yeah, dude, I hope so. I hope Jordan Love is just not that guy.
Because it's a possibility he could be. You know what I'm saying? And we say that they don't got another Hall of Fame.
Drive me so crazy if Jordan Love ends up being that. I mean, he has all the tools in the world.
He does, but I don't think so though.
His preseasons were pretty mediocre. When he stepped in for Aaron Rodgers that last game or whatever, when he started getting that hype, all of a sudden he looked pretty good there, but it was pretty small sample size.
Playing against the prevent defense of the Philadelphia Eagles.
We just gotta see it. We gotta see him play like a whole season. You know what I mean? To really be able to, or at least 8 games, and give us a good idea on what he's gonna be.
Bandito, thanks for jumping in. Skol, fellas, appreciate it. Obviously, you already looked at this guy, Justin Lawrence here. Season equals pain, off season equals pain. Being a Vikings fan equals pain.
He ain't lying. He ain't lying.
Yeah. I read the Vikings have like 21 starting quarterbacks since Brett Favre's first game versus Packer fans. Exactly. They don't have any idea what it's like to not have good quarterback play. Hopefully they're in for it here pretty soon. So fingers crossed there. So obviously last week, Jamie, on Skol Experience, we did some talk about the defensive coordinator role for the Vikings. Still isn't filled yet. Everybody and their mothers were thinking like it's because they're waiting on a decision from Flores, which I mean, up until today I thought was 100% the case. Which I mean, obviously then seeing Kwesi and Flores talking at the Senior Bowl kind of alluded. Okay, good. There's a connection there. But Kevin Seifert today got a source from inside the team. They're waiting to see if they can get an interview with Denver Broncos. I'm going to butcher the name.
Ejiro.
What was it?
Ejiro. That's what I said. I don't know what the hell his name is, to be honest with you.
But obviously, like it could be. I mean, it's a really interesting concept there because that could be a solid signing if we can bring him in. I mean, Denver's defense. Rap. I think you texted it earlier that his like the defense was solid, but the offense just couldn't score more than like 12 points a game or something like that.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind it. I mean,
my thing is, dude, he got a bald head, man. If he got a bald head, give him an interview. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of that, Justin over there, getting prepared for the DC job.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I think I'm definitely down on Flores or what's his name again? I'm gonna butcher every single time.
I think his last name's like Ivero.
Ivero, yeah, Flores and Ivero. I think I'm down on those two. Like that's the ones I kind of hoping that we pick from. Obviously, it's so obvious now that if they get a head coaching job or whatever, we lost the candidates that we probably wanted the most, and we kind of settled for our third favorite. I feel like that's kind of how it feels.
Right.
What do you guys think on them? Or is there any other candidates right now that you guys still like a lot? I know there's the Seattle's I can't say his name either, but Seattle's defensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
That'd probably be my third choice.
Desai.
It's Sean Desai, yeah. I'll say this. The only thing I care about at this point is that it's not Mike Pettin. Okay?
Yeah.
With all due respect.
Yeah, we don't need it to be Pettin, which I don't think it's going to be. They would have
I think,
but if he's Pettin, like their backup fallback guy, it's like, really?
He's doomsday scenario.
Yes.
It's like if nobody else is available and everyone else goes other places, it's like we wanted you all along. Like everybody else, it was just for fun. Yeah. Welcome to the position. But
here's my thing on Pettin. If you didn't show enough to Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi, and the Wilfs during this season that they is watching Ed Donna's show week in and week out make terrible decisions. If they didn't feel good enough about you to elevate you to the play caller / defensive coordinator, then I don't want you as our defensive coordinator moving forward. When plan A doesn't work, you should have a plan B, not plan A 2.0. So all due respect, and maybe it's a little bit of remembering how terrible Green Bay's defenses were when he was the defensive coordinator, and maybe it's a little bit of guilt by association, and maybe that's not fair. But at the end of the day, for me, I want zero to do with Mike Pettin doing the defensive coordinator, because that to me is like it's not progressing at all. Getting some of these other guys would be upgrades, and Mike Pettin wouldn't be.
Yep, I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Assessment.
I agree. And Dave made a good point before, too, that, you kind of wish if we were going to get away from Ed Donatel mid-season that they would just hand it off to Pettin there, which I do like. I agree. I think it's really hard for a head coach like Kevin O'Connell, for a first-year head coach, to come in and, have a 10-3 or 2 or whatever it was at the time when that started happening, and just to fire your defensive coordinator, first-year head coach. But obviously, I kind of wish they did, and I wish they would have went through Pettin, so that way you would have been able to see how he is as our defensive coordinator moving forward. And we wouldn't be in this position now where it's like, like, what do we do with, like, do we like him as that? Because he wasn't obviously the one calling the defense, but he has good experience and success doing that for other teams. And not so much for other teams.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think Flores is going to be out. I think he's going to take the head coaching job in Arizona, most likely. And I think that Broncos guy is going to be our new defensive coordinator.
What? Yeah. And Jamie and I were kind of talking about it before we all got on here. Did Denver run a 3-4?
I think.
I don't know, honestly.
I think they did. I'm pretty sure they. I'm pretty sure they at least did,
because I know, because obviously they had Bradley Chubb before they traded him, and Bradley Chubb came into the league as one of those outside linebacker pass rushers.
Yeah, and then they came from obviously Donatel and what's Florio?
Fangio,
that's what it is. Fangio prior, and that was a 3-4 for sure. Which is
funny,
my guess is probably 3-4.
Yeah. They were talking about Fangio potentially now going back to Denver to be on Sean Payton's coaching staff, which that'd be weird, but at the same time, be interesting.
But didn't he just sign with somewhere?
Well, I guess they said he never officially agreed. Like, they said that there was an agreement, but he didn't sign anything. I don't know.
It was Miami, right? Miami.
Yeah, with Miami, but I heard he could still go elsewhere. I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation. Before we move on, going through a couple more comments. Anyone giving the XFL a shot again? If so, who's going to be your team? We have a chance to pick a championship team.
I don't know. That is actually fair. Whoever wins the championship,
that's going to be my team.
I'm Minnesota Viking or Minnesota sport fan through and through, and I need a good, like a championship team, just one. Yeah. I want a bandwagon at least one.
We're gonna start us an XFL podcast.
Yeah,
there you go.
Hey, dude, that would be the first ones to it, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. These other football leagues, they've never really interested me. Like once the NFL season's over, I kind of like take some time off. I mean, I love football, but I kind of like to take some time off from football just to move on. And
there's no time off when you're doing podcasts.
Well, that's true, but you know what I mean. Like
I just looked it up. Denver was a 3-4, by the way. So there you go.
So that's what David Michelson said.
Whoa, you're skipping comments here, man.
I was just that was the one that said 3-4 defense when Justin just mentioned it.
Oh yeah. No, I just want to do this one. We got to bring this up no matter what. We got rap on the show.
We got to bring this up.
Hope your popcorn ready.
Yeah, lay out a realistic way they can get Kirk off this team. Trade with Carolina for one of their first rounders and move up for a quarterback in round 1. Trade with San Francisco for Lance.
We got to remember
where we at with Kirk Cousins.
We got to remember Kirk has the no trade clause, so Carolina wouldn't be an option. He would waive that for San Francisco, though. I would waive that.
I think he could. I think he would for sure.
Because he can win a Super Bowl in San Francisco.
Yeah,
be honest.
I mean, if they don't decided to not go with Brock Purdy,
right,
moving forward or whatever.
Be real, I don't even think Kirk cares about a Super Bowl, dog. Like, I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you. Like, I feel like if the money's not right, he's not waiving nothing. Like, I'm just being serious, bro. Like, I don't think he even cares about it. I think he's comfortable where he's at. His kids are in school and all that, and he's just like, nah, I think I'll be all right, man. I think I'll retire a Viking. Like, for real, bro. Like, for real. He ain't no Tom Brady or nothing. That's just once that championship, has that dog in him.
He has one playoff win in his entire career.
I think he's more just about being comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like having to pick up his family and move again. He's closer to Michigan, where he obviously bought a golf course and stuff. I just think he's more comfortable and gonna say nah.
Well, and he's I think he's from Illinois.
Yeah,
originally.
So he right in his area. Yeah, he right in his area where he want to be, man. He right where he want to be. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks for us. It sucks for us, man.
This is an interesting comment here. Would you rather have the Vikings lose a high-scoring NFC Championship game or get an OT or get blown out by 40-3 in the Super Bowl? That's
Super
tough.
Bowl.
At least they're there, I guess. That's cool.
Yeah, we've never seen a Super Bowl. None of us have ever seen them get to one in our lifetime. I'm not saying I'd be thrilled by it because then we'd be 0-5 and we'd be all by ourselves in the offers. But when you're talking to a group of guys that have never even seen them play in a Super Bowl, would take that all. I mean, that's me anyway.
We've never even seen a Big Four, I guess Minnesota sports fan at least. I've never seen a Big Four sports team make it to a championship series or anything like that either. I just want to my old boss said he was around for the buzz of the Twins World, both of the Twins World Series. Right. And he's like, it's all people talk about.
Because all we got.
Exactly.
That's all we got.
Right.
Well, we got the links.
Having teams in that championship conversation, right now, if the Vikings win the Super Bowl, it's all people talk about for 2 weeks, and it would be amazing. But
we don't get none of that.
No,
we don't get none of that.
Nothing fun.
We can have a good game, and we'd still be called frauds, even though losing to the Giants didn't help. But
that's another story. That's another reason why we trying to move off Kirk, man. That's another reason why.
Well, that's the thing with Kirk. Before, there's no question in my mind. This has been his best season, and I was far more impressed with Kirk than I ever have before. But there's that throughout the entire season. There's that little thing. It's I need to see him. I know he's been clutch all season long, but I need to see that in playoffs. That was just the last little thing I needed. So when it came down to that last play, I wish he would have just threw the ball over someone's head that was past the first, just anything else. But it's just the one decision that made it the least amount of chance to actually convert a first down. I was like, come on. In this situation, every single time you've done it this entire year in playoffs, it's one moment. It's one moment, but you miss it. And I couldn't. It didn't push me over.
And you want to know what? You want to know what upsets me too, Jamie? Is all year when he was doing that, when he was coming back and winning, it was all Kirk won us the game. Kirk won us the game, right? But the minute he does this, it's all the team and this, that. No, bro, we're not finna be picking and choosing when we blame it on the team and when we praise Kirk and say he's the reason we won the other games. You know what I'm saying? Nah, dog. Listen, you were down by 7. You had the ball in your hands. That's just that. That's that. You know what I mean? All you had to do was go down and do what you've been doing all year. Do what you've been doing all year. But yet you decided not to. And we can say the play calling and all that, but there's always an excuse, bro. Seriously, it's always his defense isn't good enough. His O-line isn't good enough. Oh, the play calling. Oh, all these offensive coordinators. Man, don't get me started on this guy, man. Because for real, I'm ready for him to get up out of here, bro. I really am. I'm just sick of it.
Yeah.
You know what he is? You know what he is? I can't remember if I've told you boys this, but he's like that buddy in high school. That sophomore year, he starts dating this girl, and he's just over the moon in love, and she's just the one. He already know he's going to marry this high school sweetheart. And then 3 months later, he breaks up, and he tells you, man, I couldn't believe how crazy that girl was. Fast forward to after you've graduated from high school 2 years later, and he done gone through 7 different girls, and they all ended up being crazy. It's amazing how bad luck follows your boy, right?
Yeah.
At some point, you got to say your guy. You're the common denominator here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's all you, because you're right. Maybe those girls weren't the right matchup for you. But for you to say that every single time you found this girl and she was great and better than the last one, and she ends up being crazy, they all end up being crazy. Well, after dating you, they all end up being crazy. Gee, what's the common denominator?
Yeah. And with me, I've been very Jamie knows I'm more on the pro Kirk side, but I'm also very honest. When he has I was very upset with that last play. And I listened to his explanation and I understand it, right? I get what you're saying here. But you watched this last week, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. There was it 4th and 6, and he chucks it up to a double covered Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase goes up and gets it. That's what you do. And Kirk did that against Buffalo. 4th and 18. What do? You throw it to your best playmaker and let him go make a play. So as much as I am not against Kirk for what he did, I understand his reasoning. I still would have been more, and me and Jamie both talked about it. I would have been more, I'd have been happier to see an interception thrown at Justin Jefferson than to throw behind the sticks, which just feeds into all the bad stuff that people say about it.
Right.
Exactly.
Or even something as simple as, hey, the defensive player made a great play.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's at least giving your player an opportunity. And if the other team, if their player does something to break up that pass or knock it down or intercept or whatever, okay, you just got beat. But you didn't even give yourself a chance.
Another thing, too, if you watch that play, the whole right side of the field is wide open. So any quarterback that can understand to move a little bit, like, for example, like, I consider Joe Burrow a dual threat quarterback. I know people think, like, yeah, he's really good in the pocket, but you can see that Joe Burrow will use his legs if necessary.
Right.
He knows when to do it, and he will juke you out your cleats. Like, look what he did during that game. He juked one of them defenders.
He did too.
You know what I'm saying? On a crucial, like, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, like, a play like that, Joe Burrow would have rolled out to the right. It's just like Kirk is just – it's one of those things where, like, if the offensive line doesn't do exactly what it's supposed to do, and the receivers don't do exactly what they're supposed to do, he's not going to be able to extend anything. He's a statue, bro. Like, you know – he always has something to blame. You know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody to blame except for him. And that's just what it is. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm definitely over the statue quarterbacks thing. I think I want that more than any. Just I want like a pass first quarterback, because I know people talk about Lamar Jackson a lot, which I really like Lamar Jackson. I think when you got a guy like Justin Jefferson, I don't think Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback for a player like him, but I want someone that can do something with their legs. And all these quarterbacks that we've seen coming in now, obviously Mahomes, Burrow, Justin Herbert, even Tua, Kyler Murray, like all those guys, they can do something with their legs. And it's just annoying that, you know, you have to have a good offense. Kurt needs to have a good offensive line.
He has to.
Because he can't avoid the pressure and extend plays a majority of the time, at least. Maybe he'll have his couple here and there. And that's why I don't know. That's what I want really bad. I don't know what we got to do to make that happen.
But but you want to know, and this is not a shot at you, Casey, saying that you're pro Kirk. But the thing is this, the Kirk stands, bro, will say, you know, he don't need a good offensive line. He still threw for 4,000 yards and still had 33 touchdowns. Like, bro, it don't matter, man. Like, I don't care about that. What did you win? You feel me? Like, nothing.
That's all I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling. I felt great about Kirk all year long. And I mean, my idea of Kirk is better than before the season started, just because it was like the first time we seen him making all these crazy comebacks. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, it just came down to that one play in playoffs. You did it all season long, and then, you know, we know the under the lights thing. We know the Monday Night Football thing. Like, it's the mental thing. So it's like you were able to make comebacks all season long, and then in playoffs was the one time you didn't. So it's like, even though that's like that's a positive thing to say about him in the regular season, but because we already know about Kirk's mental thing, the fact that you just made that decision in playoffs,
and it matters.
It's like, you just, that one decision, like, why did you have to make that decision in playoffs? Right. Out of any time to do it, it was right here.
When it mattered, bro. Like, that's just the facts, man.
Like,
when
the game
it mattered.
over. The game is, or our season's over. It's a season's over situation.
It's fourth and golfing. Go ahead.
This is a good point by Nano Joe here, that Cousins was supposed to be the missing piece in 2018, 2019 when the team had a good defense. It's very true.
Very, very true.
In 2018, I think a lot of people agree he was the problem. Like, he came into it saying, like, he was the major problem. He came into it saying, like, oh yeah, the contract, the fact I'm supposed to win the team a Super Bowl, it's not affecting my mindset. Like, I know there's a lot of pressure. It did. Like, you could tell he was pressing, trying to be something he just wasn't, not just letting the game come to him. But yeah, like, that was the point. When he came in here in 2018, it's like, this team's ready for a Super Bowl. And we won one playoff game.
And I disagree with that move so much, bro. Like, that move in 2017, it made me so upset, bro. And I'm going to tell you, because the amount of money this man got, and that he was the first quarterback to get guaranteed money to not even have won a playoff game, bro. Like, literally, like, just, okay, Kurt, here's the world. Like, and then for you to come in and only win, 9 games? What did we win? 9 games? 8 games?
Playoffs.
You know, and you got a quarterback who won 13 games. Case Keenum came in, week 3? Was it week 3? So
he won 12.
It was week 2. Yeah, so he won 12 games for you, bro. We had the number 1 defense. Mm-hmm. What organization wouldn't say, you know what, we were that close, bro? Let's run this thing back one more time, at least with Case Keenum. And we could, in that offseason, we probably could have added some more pieces to the offense, like get a couple weapons maybe, or some more defensive weapons, whatever. You know, we could have really beefed our team up. That's how I felt.
You could tell that entire season, though, that Zimmer was not sold on Keenum. Like, he was finding any excuse he could to get off of Keenum. Like, because the one game in Chicago when Bradford was healthy, puts him out there. Bradford was not ready to go.
Right.
And then he ends up they pull him. It's just like you could tell he's sitting there he was waiting for that NFC Championship game. He's like,
but he didn't want Kirk either though.
Yeah, I know. They gave him Kirk instead, true. And then he's like,
he was mad as hell. We spent all that money on Kirk.
At least Keenum was $1 million this year.
Yeah, he was like, y'all paid him what? Like, are you serious? Now my defense is done. And look what happened, bro. That's exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just started running out of money to be able to add pieces to the defense. And it just, these players got older, the Kendricks, the Harrison Smiths, and our windows closed.
And they got paid.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about 2017. You still had Bradford at 12 million, Keenum at 1 million, Teddy at 2 or 3, because that was before the stuff really got ridiculous.
Right.
When they moved from 17 to 18, here's what their moves were. Sign Kirk Cousins and sign Sheldon Richardson. That's it. The only other moves they did was to re-sign Adam Thielen, re-sign Stephon Diggs, Kendricks, what's the cornerback? Xavier Rhodes. So you didn't really do much spending money besides those two guys. All you did was give money to your existing players. Their miscalculation, I disagree with you a little bit, Rap, but it's not a hill we need to die on.
Yeah, because I know you don't like Case Keenum.
No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that their miscalculation is that they felt that defense was going to still be elite for 2, maybe 3 more years. And it started to deteriorate. And it didn't deteriorate like instantly. But I think 2018, they dropped from like number 1 to like number 6. And then 2019, they were down to like number 9 or 10, something like that. Their calculation was that depreciation of that defense wasn't going to start until 2020, when in reality, it started right away. And so at that particular point in time, it's, okay, now we're going to re-sign Anthony Barr. That was a mistake. Re-sign Dalvin Cook. I know you love Dalvin, but at the same time, we can talk about, should you give a second contract to running backs, linebackers, and other stuff. So they've been stuck in the mud because all they've been doing is adding 1 or 2 pieces every single year, expecting that everything that you had before is just going to stay the same. And it doesn't. Everything changes every single year. It's the old adage, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. If you're standing still, you're moving backwards. And so when you put it all together, it wasn't just about Kirk. It was about the fact that you didn't do anything else besides add Kirk and Sheldon Richardson. You didn't go out and get a guard. You didn't go out and get another cornerback or something like that, because Xavier Rhodes after 17, that was pretty much it. He was serviceable the next 2 years.
Bro, why? But my thing is, why are you trying to change something that ain't broke? Why are you trying to fix something that ain't broke? Now you look at it. Now we're 4 years. How much was that? 2017. So what? Now we're 5 years separated, right? And we see that the formula that we had with a regular quarterback is the same formula San Fran used. Now San Fran, obviously, they just had the worst of luck. Like that, it's unfair that they Brock Purdy got hurt and they couldn't really compete in that game. But they're showing the formula that you build that defense, bro. Their defense literally keeps them in games like damn near most of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like their defense is that good, bro.
But part of the reason
that game was like, yo, I hope we get a defense like that soon again. You know what I mean? Because we need that.
The only thing I will say is that their defense has been able to be sustained because over the last 5 years, they still drafted good defensive players to supplement the Nick Bosa's. They don't have the same defense that they had 5 years ago. They've rotated other guys through there and have managed to replace them with equal or better players. So that's the only thing I will say to that is that that's very, very true what you're saying. But part of the reason is that we haven't done anything from a draft perspective defensively since 2015. I mean,
we tried. We tried in the draft stuff, but especially in the cornerbacks in the secondary area, it just has not worked in our favor of picking these guys early in the draft. A couple more shout outs here. Skol Mafia, what's going on, man? Purple Gang, Stiff Richards. This podcast fire though, boys. Great job. Thanks, Stiff Richards.
Let's go.
AR-15. What am I missing here?
Anthony Richardson.
Okay. So, all right. No, Florida. I'm going to come back to that.
That's another conversation.
Yeah, Skol fellas, Zach Baz. It's moving season now. Dylan Dodson, hold up, Rap. You're everywhere, brother.
You know that.
Yeah. Purple Gang, Dylan Dodson, Mullins time. I don't know about that.
Nah, hell nah.
Let's jump back to this Anthony Richardson real quick. What is your guys' feelings on him and just the quarterbacks coming into this draft? I know Richardson is like kind of the one that might be there for us at that point. I have a feeling his draft stock's going to continue going up through the offseason. But what are you guys thinking about that?
I mean, I think we should. I mean, like Skol Mafia knows really that he knows that I want him. Like that's somebody I want. But realistically, he's not going to be there. Like we would have to make a trade and get him. Somebody's going to take a chance on him. Why? Because of his athletic ability. If you go look at his stats, like you'll be like, well, damn, towards the end of the season, he started falling off. He actually did. Like his accuracy and all that started falling off. But when you have the athletic ability like he has, bro, like you have to take a chance on that. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to. It just is what that's just how the game works. Like picking these draft, especially quarterbacks, it's like playing the lottery. If you don't play, you can't win. You know what I mean? So if we go through this draft and we don't take a chance on anybody, then we can't expect nothing to change. But if he's there, or if KOC looks at it and Kwesi looks at it and they say, hey, you know what? This is our guy. Like we want this guy. Let's go ahead and communicate with the teams. Like
as long as he has some
8 or 9.
Mobility. As long as he has mobility.
I think he'll probably be on the board probably around like 10, maybe 8, 9, 10, around those teams. So like, cause you never know. Like I know they said the Colts possibly are gonna take the Will Levis dude, but shit, they might take AR-15. Like for real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit, like for real, because he has the athletic ability, man. He can turn into the next Lamar Jackson or something like that. And believe it or not, people think Lamar Jackson can only run. Bro, go look at his percentage on throwing the ball, man. Like the boy can throw the ball too. Like for real.
Right. I think it's more of like the production from his wide receivers, which might not be all his fault,
because he ain't have no real weapons.
Yeah, it could really just be that. Because I mean, I like Lamar Jackson for sure. But no, I really want someone with some mobility, and I 100% agree with you with the whole lottery thing. I want a franchise quarterback, young one that we can have for years ahead of us, not just sign Kirk Cousins to an extra year extension every single year. And I want it so bad. And there's one thing I know people say defenses win Super Bowl championships, whatever. But I don't know. In this league, it's pretty obvious that the guys that are winning championships most of the time usually have a franchise quarterback.
Yep.
And you have to take your shot. I don't think holding like Kirk Cousins and doing what we've been doing with quarterbacks and keep working on our defense, I don't think that's gonna work. I would like to take our chances on our early quarterback, and even if that doesn't work out, I don't care. Do it again the next season. I know that will never happen, but I think Kellen Mond was the earliest pick we've spent on a quarterback in like 10 years or something, since Teddy Bridgewater. Not 10 years, but since Teddy Bridgewater. And at a 3rd round pick, and then it didn't work out. It's like you're kind of trying, but you're not really actually going out and finding your guy. I have a hard time feeling we're gonna win a Super Bowl before we find a franchise quarterback.
But also, you got to think about it in this way as well. That I think this is kind of lost on some people sometimes. Is that especially since we haven't been through it in a while. But drafting a franchise quarterback is a big deal for a GM because I think he would be lucky here because he's got a very patient ownership group. But a lot of times, like they say, like a GM gets one quarterback, two head coaches maybe, and one quarterback. And if you're going to take that guy, like if you're going to trade up or take a guy at the top of the draft or in the 1st round, you better make sure
he better be that guy.
Right, you better be right.
Your job,
you lose your job.
So look at the Bears. They traded up for Trubisky, and he wasn't the guy. And some of that might have been some of the infrastructure.
Which to me, though, Trubisky, I think they did Trubisky wrong because at the end of the day, like when Trubisky was their quarterback, they were making the playoffs though a lot though. Like seriously, they were making the playoffs.
They had a solid defense with him as well, but
they had a solid defense with him.
He was doing well enough. But that's the thing. It's like so if Kwesi's guy isn't there, like he's probably going to be reluctant to take one just because. He's seen with Kirk Cousins, you can be competitive. Like you're always there, which I know is it not good enough, obviously. But I think that's just something that he's also taken. He's a calculated guy, so I think he's taking that into effect of like the risk reward. Like Anthony Richardson, there's a ton of reward there, but there's also a ton of risk. Like if I take him and he sucks, like the Wolves are going to look at me and be like, dude, what did you see in this guy? So. It's tough.
Crazy with how that works with the quarterback because you could pick a quarterback at pick 20 or whatever, or like last year we traded back with the Lions from pick 12 all the way to the last pick. Got Lewis Cine who got injured, but that's not going to affect his job as much as a quarterback does.
Right? Yeah, because the quarterback's the most important position in all of sports. Everybody, I think most people agree with that.
Kind of committing. I think that when they say you draft a quarterback, you're like giving them, a couple or like 2 or 3 seasons to figure
right.
Spielman
got incredibly lucky because he got like 8 quarterbacks. He got to start with Ponder, then he got to go with Teddy, then he got to make the trade for Bradford, then he got to sign Kirk Cousins. And that's maybe where Kwesi might, but then again, is he thinking like, are they going to want to go through that again? Are they going to want a GM who's going to come in and bring in 4 quarterbacks and never find the guy?
Just keep drafting them.
But consider
what I don't want to happen is what we've been doing is like bringing in like the Bradfords and the Cousins, like for example, like if once Cousins leaves and then we're looking around and we're like, oh, okay, let's bring in Andy Dalton now. You know what I mean? He still has a couple more years. You might have 5 more years. Like, yo, stop doing that. You know what I mean?
Like normally that guy, like an Andy Dalton, if you're bringing him in now, it's either A, you have a quarterback on your roster you want to sit for a year and learn, or B, you want to suck so you can get a better chance at a quarterback, so you bring him in because at least it's showing you're trying because he's won games before.
I just want something that's mine.
Not that guy.
Let's go find something that's ours, man. That we can say we drafted. He hasn't played for anybody else. He's a Viking, man. Like I want that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the Packers, man. Brett Favre, they pick Aaron Rodgers in the first round, even though Brett Favre was still that guy. Couple years, Aaron Rodgers that guy, and then they do the same thing with Love, and obviously it ticked Aaron Rodgers off a bit or whatever, but I don't know, like I want that, like they grab their guy in the first round. They don't care that they have a superstar quarterback already.
Eagles were aggressive too, remember?
They went and got Jalen Hurts and then trade Carson Wentz a year later or whatever, and something like that, right? Now Jalen Hurts is that guy. Like I want that too. Like I take that chance, man. Take that chance. I want something. I don't know.
To answer the question that was put into the chat about AR-15, if option A is trade up to get AR-15, which means you're going to have to take your first round pick plus something else, and let him sit behind Kirk for 1 year, if that's door number 1. If door number 2 is trade Kirk to San Francisco and draft the guy you put out there, I think it was yesterday, that tank guy, that wide receiver rep, I would rather do that. Because number 1, you're clearing off the dead money that is Kirk Cousins' contract. You're getting a little bit of value in return. You're getting a guy in Trey Lance that, for all we know, is I don't know. I don't want to get into trying to compare and projecting Trey Lance versus AR-15, but then you could also still have your first round pick to get something else, whether it be that wide receiver, whether it be a defensive tackle or an offensive line, whatever the case may be. So if I only had those 2 choices, I would rather get a trade done for Lance and keep our first round pick to be able to utilize it for something else. But having said that, no, I agree with you. At some point, to your point, Casey, Kirk Cousins is the safe play. Okay. Yeah. If you keep Kirk Cousins, you know that you are never going to be horrible. For all the faults that Kirk Cousins have, and for all the things we think he can't do, you are never going to be a 3-win team with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson. Right. So you're never going to torpedo a season with that guy. You're also probably never going to win a Super Bowl with that guy. So if I'm Kwesi, do I take the chance of being bad under the hopes that I get to be great, or do I stay with what is safe? Which one has more job security? And it's the one that's the
winners don't be safe, bro. So that's it's just point blank period. That's what's going to separate him. He's either going to be a champion or he's going to play it safe. I mean, there's no in between.
And,
they're at a tough time too, to where you got to try to convince Justin Jefferson to stay here. So like, and I don't know if Kirk will do that or not, but like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird because
Justin Jefferson be mad at Kirk more than we think, bro. Kirk be pissing that man off.
Last year.
Here's the thing, Casey. The time to do this was last year. The time to do this was we just fired our coach. We just fired our GM.
Clean house, isn't it?
And we're gonna sell off this good, not great quarterback and get some assets because we think that he can bring us to the playoffs, but we don't think he can bring us to a Super Bowl. That conversation can still be had. Now the conversation is, listen, what do you think? I'm not saying you let him make the choice. Don't get me wrong. But, hey, we think we've gone as far as we can with this guy. And if we go in a different direction, we might take a step back. But it'll also give us a better chance to actually win a championship. So if you bring that to the table to him, because you're going to be at the table negotiating how many Brinks trucks you're going to have to back up to his front door in the first place, just be like, hey, man, we're thinking about getting rid of Cousins because we don't think we can win a championship with him. And you know what? He might be amenable to that still. Like I said, it would have been an easier conversation last year because you wouldn't have had a 13-4.
Right.
Let's call it what it is. We don't have to give back those wins. It was a great season. It was a lot of fun, but let's not look at that as anything but what it was. And it was a little bit of fool's gold. So let's not think that we're just one or two pieces away from competing. Right. That's what I'd say to him.
Yeah.
And I think you could keep him under that, guys. He'd probably be amenable to it, but
it's a tough situation. There's a lot,
but you got to be going for a Super Bowl, man. You got to take the chances. You might make a decision that fucks us for the next 5 years. I don't know, but it's better than going we haven't won a Super Bowl our entire franchise.
You got to go for broke, bro.
So you have to go for it. So are we just cool with even if the next 5 years suck? Like
you say this now until we do something, and the next 5 years suck. And then there's no quarterback in sight.
I just want a Super Bowl, man. You got to take that chance.
Yeah.
But to that point, Casey, that's a very good point. What are we really risking? We are risking a team that is perpetually mediocre to slightly above mediocre. Mm-hmm. We're not the Kansas City Chiefs, who've been going to the divisional round of the playoffs and sometimes AFC Championship games with Alex Smith to take a risk on a Patrick Mahomes. That was a huge risk. They were risking something. Mm-hmm. What are the Vikings risking if they say, we're going to go in a different direction?
We're risking 8 games a season.
We're risking 8 to 10
We're risking winning 8 to 10 games a season. Seriously.
Honestly, we can talk about.
It's like a sweet spot though, because a lot of fans it's a terrible spot that 8 to 8 games a season. Like nobody wants to be less than 8 games, and obviously everyone wants to be higher than that. So it's just a really hard situation.
Well, that's why, I look back at the most recent history of this franchise, and honestly, I hate to say it, but 2017, for as fun as that was, I think that's one of the worst possible things that could have happened to this team. Because it really put into the perspective of them thinking we're a quarterback away and we can't waste time on a rookie. So we got to go get the best option now.
I agree. Good take, man.
As great as and I've said that for years, as great as 2017 was, it sucked. It was just, it didn't help the future of the franchise. It helped that year. Had we won a Super Bowl, honestly, and you say it now, if we won a Super Bowl that year, I wouldn't care what happens for the next 10 years. You would. Look at Eagles fans. They were pissed off. That's Eagles fans, so I guess that's a different breed. But they were pissed off for, years right after they won that Super Bowl when things didn't go the same with Carson Wentz. So
let me ask y'all this. If we would have won the Super Bowl, would y'all still have been okay with just shipping Case Keenum off? This man just won us a Super Bowl. And
I don't think you could have at that point. I think you would have had to have brought him back.
I always say if we win a Super Bowl, I don't really give a shit what we do. I'm like, all right, I'm good for at least a good few years. But I'm sure I probably would want another one. Be like, all right, one's not good enough.
But Casey, let me ask you this. Would you trade being the Rams and Rams fans right now?
It was a pretty disappointing season for them this year, but
Who cares?
I would be them. I'd be cool with that.
Super Bowl is literally all I want. And it's not only just because my 90-year-old grandpas can just see them win one.
And they had bad luck with just injuries too. If they didn't have all the injuries they had, they would have probably had a little better season.
I'll one up your 2017 and I'll raise you 2019. That win against the New Orleans Saints, that's exactly what you're talking about from 17. 17, I don't quite agree with because it's NFC Championship game, the miracle and all that good stuff. The game would have been in your stadium. But 2019 was where they really fooled themselves. Because, mind you, if they had lost to the Saints, they would have fired Mike Zimmer then. Yep. And what did we do after we won that game? We extended Mike Zimmer, and we just wasted 2 years in 2020 and 2021. 2019 was the time to pivot. And moreover than that, 2020, they started off 1-5 going into the bye week. And they had every opportunity right then to sell off some pieces, sell off a Riley Reef, sell off a Kyle Rudolph, sell off maybe a Harrison Smith as an example. And what did they? No, we can't do that. We're going to keep going. Okay, you kept going and you went 7-9. Big deal, So, to your point of sometimes being fooled by things, that's the one that really fooled you, is to think, when you got destroyed by San Francisco the week after beating New Orleans, if you didn't know that run was over, I don't know what you were looking at. So that's where I'm at right now, is to say, let's not let this 13-4 fool us into thinking that we're just a couple pieces away, and let's not make haste decisions for, we got to win right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan liked your take, Casey. Casey with the heat, great take.
I got some.
All in, get it. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. You're gonna have to take some gambles, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what we should do this year for that, but I'm hoping we take.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I think we can all agree that Kirk Cousins is definitely going to be our quarterback next season, though. I feel
he's not going
away. Unless they get blown
away. I would love, and I'm cool with it as long as we.
Unless somebody calls Quasi and says, "Hey, we'll give you damn 2 first-round picks for Kirk Cousins right now," then that's a different story. But other than that, like, he's going to be in purple, man. He wants to be here too. He wants to retire a Viking, bro. I genuinely believe when he said that, he meant that. You know what I mean? And for him to put a no trade clause in his contract, it just shows you right there, like, he's like, y'all ain't about to just be able to get rid of me anywhere. No.
The trade clause thing, I was like, damn it. That was like the one I did not want to see that, because I wanted to trade him. I was like, definitely like trade him last year.
Well, you got to remember that, and that just goes down to Kirk Cousins and his agent. Like, they're smart. They knew if this season goes bad, they're going to want to just trade him off to the highest bidder, and that could be some shit crap team he doesn't want to go play for. So,
right.
The no trade clause was his thing. Like, I'll do what you guys want, but I want to make sure that if there's any decision that needs to be made about where I'm going to play next year, it's me. It's not you guys. I decide this.
Yeah.
Because Kirk Cousins, say what you will, the guy's smart. Him and his agent are smart.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's a Hall of Fame negotiator. His agent is a Hall of Fame negotiator.
And that's the thing. Like, when we talk about Kirk Cousins, like, I feel like me and Jamie relate on it. When we talk about at him as a like civilian, you know what I mean? Like, because I look at these guys as entertainers. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what they are. They're entertaining us, man. They're playing a sport. We're paying money for their jerseys, all this. They're entertainers, man. But like, as a civilian, he's a great guy, bro. Like, seriously, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to take anything away from trying to downgrade his character as a person, as a man, as a father, whatever. But like, when it comes to when we're talking about him in between the hashes, bro, like, we got to talk about it. Like, for real, we got to be critical about it. This is what we chose to do. Podcasting. You know what I'm saying? So,
for sure.
Simplest way to say it is this: Kirk Cousins isn't the Vikings' problem, but Kirk Cousins is also not the Viking solution.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
But if you tell some of the Kirk stands that, like, well, you're just a hater and you don't understand how great Kirk Cousins is. No, we're not hating on him. We're just saying, what his limit is.
I wanted him to be good. I was like, with Rap said he was mad in 2000 or after the 2017 season, when we thought we were one quarterback away. I was definitely hopeful that grabbing Kirk Cousins was going to be the last piece we needed to get over that hump. So I was hopeful, and it was like each season it was like a little less every time. Like, it just seemed obvious. And this season was the one where it seemed like, all right, he made some hurdles. Maybe it was a lot of
coaching.
Mike Zimmer, the coaching, Mike Zimmer and stuff. And then obviously this year we've seen the clutch stuff, but I couldn't be 100% on board because I had a seat in playoffs. And then obviously,
and another thing that plays a part is his age too. Like, we have to realize, like, he's already has a dad bod, bro. Like, let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real, man. Kirk is not the most athletic guy on the field. We just got to keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? He's about to be 36 years old this year, right? I think it's 36, right? He's turning 36 this year. Is it 37? I think it's 36. But like, come on, man. Like, we gotta start. Like, you want to extend them 2-3 more years? Like, seriously? Like, we're really gonna have a 39-year-old Kirk Cousins being our quarterback? Like, that's what we talking about right now? Stop it.
He's 35.
Like, seriously, he's 35. Yeah, but I think he'll be 36 this season, right? He'll be 36.
He's 34 right now. He'll be 35 in August.
So he'll turn 35. Okay, yeah. So still, though, 3 years, 38 years old. Like, he's 3 years away from being a 38-year-old, and he already can't move like that, bro. Like, it's obvious it's time to move on.
So you're saying Kirk Cousins will decide what he wants to go play for Kyle Shanahan? He might. You never know.
There you go.
You know what? I think Shanahan is smart enough to know, like, no, like, y'all Kirk's can boost up the hype all you want, but Shanahan is smart enough to understand, like, nah, I'm liking the young guys I have, you know what I mean? I like the new little mobile guys and stuff like that. Like, I think that window of Shanahan really wanting Kirk was, when we signed him, he really would have wanted to bring him over there. But now I think that window closed, bro. Like, I don't think Shanahan really wants him, to be honest with you.
2019 would have been the time to do it.
2019, because how long Shanahan been the coach over there? He got
2018 after the 2019 season. I think that was it.
Yeah, because
because they lost Super Bowl in 28. The 20 no 2017. I forget. I think he was
27. No, it wasn't 20. I think it was 2018. Maybe,
when did the Falcons lose that Super Bowl? Because it was the next season. 15?
That was 16. So 17. Yeah, you're 17, right. So it's 17.
Yep.
Yeah, but I just think because he said out his own mouth, like, he wish he would have been able to get Kirk that after that season when he went to San Francisco, I guess 2018, then obviously when we got him. But like that was then, man. We're so far separated from 2018, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like he don't feel the same today as he did 5 years ago, like or whatever, 4 years ago. No, I'm telling you, he's
and
over
he has
that.
Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. So he has a guy that they spent a lot of assets to go grab in Trey Lance, and a guy that has huge promise in Brock Purdy. Obviously ended in an injury. So I have a hard time believing like they're just gonna be like, all right, instead of either of those two, let's just go get
let's get Kirk Cousins that's already 4 years older.
Right.
He's already 4 years older than when I wanted. I wanted Kirk when he was 30 years old. Do you feel me?
But you got to put the pieces together here. You have a quarterback in Trey Lance who obviously they don't believe in.
Right.
And you got a guy who just got a UCL injury.
Can we say they don't believe in him though, Casey? Because at the end of the day, they believed in him because he was going to start the season this year and he got hurt.
It's hard to say. I mean, he just had an injury, and Brock Purdy came in and played fucking fantastic and helped this.
See, he was fantastic, yes, but there was going to be a time where that was going to like that game. He'd have been starting a game like that because he's Case Keenum. He's safe when you have a great defense and a lead.
Yeah, but that's what we think. He's a rookie quarterback, 7th round rookie quarterback. So who knows what he can turn into? If he can already play like that his rookie year, who knows what he could be?
And look what he did in college against Oklahoma.
No one knows who you are. Right. There's going to be tape next year. If he does this again, I'll buy in. There's going to be tape on him.
Or to buy, you're buying 100% yet, but they do have a guy with a lot of promise, and then that's why even with enough promise where they did spend all that on Trey Lance, and they didn't even get a chance to really see Trey Lance as the starter because he got injured. And they already decided that Brock Purdy was going to be the starter next year.
But the 49ers are now where we were in 2017, where
it's pretty similar. Yeah, it is pretty similar.
And I say that in the aspect of they've done a very good job drafting and they've done a very good job building that team. But they're going to need to start paying some of their guys who are on rookie contracts in order to keep that team together. And so, putting a guy in a situation like that, part of the reason that they can is because, Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't making Kirk money, but he wasn't on his rookie contract anymore. He was kind of in the middle. But when you got guys like Brock Purdy, when you got guys like Trey Lance that aren't making anything, you can build up that team around them. Listen, those contracts for guys like Nick Bosa and a couple of the other defensive players, kind of like with Josh Allen, his money's about to start hitting those books in Buffalo. That's why when Buffalo traded for Diggs, it was a great move because we got a 3-year window where Josh Allen's still on his rookie contract or the first year of his new deal, which isn't as high. San Francisco's now at that point where they've got a year or maybe 2 before they start doing what the Vikings did because they got to start paying their own players. So
and that's where I thought the Chiefs were gonna I'm like this is we're finally going to see it. Tyreek Hill's gone. This might be the decline of the Kansas City Chiefs being the team that they have been. And then Patrick Mahomes just says,
and they drafted very well with Pacheco.
That too.
Like Pacheco, bro, looks like a running back version of Tyreek Hill, bro. And he's wearing number 10. Dude, that guy is a savage, bro.
They had 6 rookies playing in that last game or something.
And how about our boy? How about our boy, Jarrett McKinnon?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? How about our boy?
I gotta root.
And do you know what's really
always root for him?
What's really kind of depressing, Jamie? Because I know when we were doing mock drafts for the season started, we were in on Trent McDuffie a lot. It sounds like I haven't paid close attention, but it sounds like he's been playing pretty well for them this season.
Yeah, that's what.
Y'all were big on him.
I wish we would have had a chance at Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing with that was just that trade back all the way to the last pick, and we skipped out on Hamilton. And who knows? Lewis Cine could be that guy. Obviously, we didn't get a good look at him, but we missed Trent or McDuffie. We missed Kyle Hamilton. We missed some of these guys in the secondary. So it's just like, man, that trade kind of is killer to me, I think. But
I don't
at least
mind
we got
the trade.
Hawkinson back from him.
He just didn't get enough back for it, in my opinion.
I wouldn't have cared. Yeah, if he got more, I wish he would have just traded. Too bad he didn't snatch up the Rams first rounder for this year.
Here's what I said at the time that trade was made. If you're going to trade from 12 down to 32, then you shouldn't have included the Vikings 46, their own 2nd round pick. That should not have been part of the deal. And if it was going to be part of the deal, then you needed to get a 1st round pick back from Detroit next year, either Detroit's or the Rams, whichever one they wanted to throw in there. So regardless of how well Lewis Cine and all the rest of the guys, Andrew Booth and all the other guys that were, the
part of the trade,
part of that trade, you still left money on the table, and that's where
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm mad.
You kind of in a spot with only 4 picks.
Jalen Petrie, man. I told y'all last
Yeah, I
year,
liked
man.
him a lot too. I like Jalen Petrie. I think we had.
We should have got Jalen Petrie, bro. Like, I mean, this man balling this year, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
was he the Baylor guy?
Yeah, he's Baylor.
Like he was the Baylor guy that went to the Texans.
Yeah, he was
coming out, or was he a cornerback coming out or safety coming? What is his?
He was safety,
now?
but he played a lot of slot nickel in college too. He was kind of like a hybrid, but when he got drafted, it said safety. So, and look, he has a couple interceptions this season. If you watch his highlights on his man, he's a savage, bro. And I knew it. Like you could watch his film and just tell that he's just born to play football, dog. Yeah. Like some people are just like that, man.
Right. And he had the stats too. Coming out of college. And I would have liked him over
Lewis Cine. I'm sorry. I like Lewis Cine as a person. Don't get me wrong. I think I actually think Lewis Cine is possibly, after that injury, it makes me step back a little bit because that's a serious injury for somebody who likes to, fly around the field like a missile. Like you snap your ankle like that, bro, like, and now you're gonna try to come back and be doing that. I don't know, man. What's going on?
He's also already walking though, which is pretty. He was walking.
That is good news.
He was walking like not soon after the injury happened.
But did he have like a workout video too or something? Like he was kind of trying
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope the kid recovers and turns into a savage. To be real, I'm in his corner definitely.
Like I like his personality is like perfect.
I love his personality.
Same thing with Booth. Same thing with the Caleb Evans.
I'm out on Booth. I'm out on Booth. I'm sorry. I was out on Booth. Once we drafted him, Dave was big on Booth. I'm out on Booth.
I'm gonna stay hopeful.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay hopeful.
We can stay hopeful if you want. I'm out on Booth though. Like for real, I think Evans is better than Booth, and I think he's gonna be better than Booth. I think Booth is he's just undisciplined, dog. Like he just seems like one of those guys who will never get disciplined. He's gonna sit there, and I don't mean to judge these guys, man. I know these guys have families. I don't care, but I talk my talk. Y'all know how I go. You know what I mean? Because it just is what it is, man. I just think like his injuries. I just think that was a bad pick, dog. Like for real, like like his injury history is so bad where you could have just looked at it and said, the chances of this guy getting injured, dog, is like 80 to 90%. And look what happened. You know what I mean? Like, he's been injured since high school, bro.
I love the pick at the time just because it was obviously, touted cornerback coming in, and then we got him in the second round at the time. I do like, because the thing I seen with him compared to any of the other cornerbacks was his ball skills. We didn't get a chance to really see it, but was his ball skills at like when he covers people, the way when he makes interceptions, he looks like the wide receiver. The way he pinpoints the ball, he looks like a wide receiver. And that's still something that I am hopeful with him coming in. So there was even a couple weeks I was like, the times he started, I was like calling Andrew Booth interception. Never happened. But that's what I saw different with him compared to everybody else in that draft at cornerback. So I'm gonna hope that coming into next season we see a little
for
more
sure, man.
Plus
I hope so too.
Into the season, but obviously we don't have a choice but to be hopeful.
We don't have a choice. You're right. Yeah, like obviously, like I hope he turns into the best cornerback in the NFL. You feel me? And I'll take back everything I said, and I'll get his jersey and rep. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I tell people all the time, like, when I talk about these players and stuff too, at the end of the day, I'm a Vikings fan before anything. So even if I'm talking down on a player, like I hope Kirk wakes up tomorrow and turns into Patrick Mahomes. You feel me? Like, and then next season comes around and he's doing no look passes and stuff. Like that would make me. Nothing would make me happier, like bro.
500 yards on the ground.
I'm telling you, like, I mean, it just is what it is. I'm a Vikings fan before anything, but we just got to call it for what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the injuries with Andrew Booth is an absolute red flag, and it's a problem. Obviously hard. But easily obvious.
Speaking of injured corners, how did Derek Stingley play? Like, I'm genuinely curious. How did he play this year?
He did pretty decent.
He was okay.
Yeah, I mean, he plays for the Texans.
Houston,
so.
But like,
him and Petrie kind of balled out together for sure.
Because that was a guy that he did go high, and a lot of it was like if he stays healthy, he could be like an elite cornerback in this league. And I think he went on IR at some point.
You know what's crazy, Casey, is like all the corners that really got drafted this season, like in the first round, all of them, like. They turned out to be exactly what everybody expected them to be. I gotta say, like, this was probably one of the best, like, top heavy cornered, like, just good. All the players panned out, all the way down to Trent McDuffie.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, all the first round corners panned out. Like,
and there's that quarterback is a hard position to transition from the, like they say it's the second hardest position behind quarterback to transition.
I think it's one of the hardest. I think it's becoming one of the hardest, to be real.
Yeah, definitely. Just because
Evans,
just imagine that, and we saw it. Like Sauce Gardner has to step on. I mean,
Sauce Gardner has
to step onto the field going against a guy like Justin Jefferson, who's been doing it for 3 years or two and a half years now at that point. Like these young guys come in and like the receiver knows what they're doing. The cornerback has to, figure it out.
I'm gonna tell you another position that's becoming one of the hardest positions in the NFL is the tackles, bro. I'm gonna tell you why. Because these defenders, bro, these edge rushers nowadays are becoming faster and stronger, bro. Like listen, and these tackles, these O-lines, they think that all they got to do is get weight. But I'm telling you right now, that is not working anymore, bro. Like these quarterbacks getting hurt. You want to know why? Because they can't block these edge rushers, bro. These boys are flying in like missiles now. They're just like, you saw what Micah Parsons did in that game to that tackle? Like literally one arm and just slam the man. Like, literally. Like Lawrence Taylor, like I'm telling you, the gap is like getting the gap is widening a lot when it comes to the talent of the edge rushers compared to the tackles. And we're blessed to have, a really good one, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, the party started when Two Evil to Hope is in here jumping in. So first off, this is Casey and Jamie's spot here. They're the ones in control and stuff. Well, I'm just a guest here tonight, Two Evil. So no, I ain't ducking your mic. Yeah, I started cracking up when you said that there. But in all seriousness, thanks for joining us, man. But I'll say it like this, Rap, to your point about tackles being difficult. The part of the reason the cornerbacks are so difficult is because these wide receivers just got it going on now. I mean, how long ago was it? You would have a wide receiver draft that have a Calvin Johnson and maybe one other guy and then a bunch of other guys. You got drafts now where Justin Jefferson was the 5th wide receiver being taken. Should have been the 4th, but you get my point. So, no, I totally agree with you. Tackles and cornerbacks, you got to come up to the learning curve quick these days in the NFL because, like you said, these edge rushers are at a different level and these wide receivers are at a different level.
And that's why, sorry, go ahead, Justin.
No, you're good. Go.
Like my thing is, and then, like you talk about edge rushers, which I think is a big part of it as well. But like when I look at what the Vikings need, like I think I want to just, I don't know. It's tough because I know we still need cornerback help. We draft corners a lot, but it's fair because you need as many as you can get.
Right.
But I personally think the biggest thing this team is missing, if you decide to keep one, depending on your defensive system, if you decide to keep either one of Zadarius Smith or Danielle Hunter, and if Zadarius can regain his first half of the season form, I think you're missing an impact player on that interior defensive line. Like, I just don't think we've had that in such a long time. Like, I mean, and obviously I know we're not going to get him. He's going high, but I look at a guy like that Jalen Carter coming out of Georgia, just freak athleticism. And he's not necessarily just a pass rusher. Like the guy can do everything, just like an impact player on the interior of the defensive line. Like, again, maybe like an Aaron Donald type, which I know
Where is he from again, Casey? What are you talking about? Who is it again?
The kid from Georgia, Jalen Carter.
Some people have him going number 1 now.
Yeah, he's if the Bears decide not to trade out,
and then I guess that guy from Alabama is that a linebacker that's projected to go number 1 too? Anderson. Anderson, I think.
But like I just think that defensive line is just missing a bully, like just a guy that's going to impose his, and especially, you kind of saw it. Like they gave more attention to Danielle Zadarius because they knew Delvin Tomlinson, solid. I like him. I really do hope we bring him back on a, reasonable contract. But like Harrison Phillips, good run stuffer, not, it doesn't make a huge impact in the pass rush. We traded away Armand Watts. Blacklock wasn't, he was fine. Tonga made a pretty big impact, but there's not a guy that I feel like the offensive line's like, we got to watch out for this guy in the middle because he's going to get after us,
Right.
Like all the teams we have to see going against Garrett Bradbury, it's just.
I feel you. Like we don't have that like Daron Payne, which he's going to be a free agent, so that's somebody to think about. Or I would get rid of Dalvin Tomlinson in a heartbeat.
Right, Jonathan Allen from Washington.
I would get rid of Dalvin Tomlinson in a heartbeat for Payne. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like I would ship him quick. I ain't gonna lie. And I like Dalvin Tomlinson, but he don't get enough pressure for me at the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just keep it real. Like Daron Payne is a bully. You feel me? Like he's a bully, man. So and he really wasn't known for sacks coming out of college. He was known as a run stuffer, but I watched a segment on him where he said he wanted to get better at getting to the quarterback, and he worked really hard in the offseason, and it showed. You know what I'm saying? So I like him.
But that gets back to the conversation we were having earlier. The Vikings are always not in the right spot to draft because they're always just good enough to not be.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we had that whole conversation about, well, should we draft a quarterback and take a risk here? Can you imagine if this team had just for once decided we're going to take a step back and we had a top 5 pick, top 10 pick this year because it's not just one or two things. There was a comment in there earlier. We're not just one defensive bully, free agent bully away. No, that's very, very true. And that's the problem with, being in the mid-20s. And that's where we are all the time, is because we're good. We're just not great.
Well, we were 12 last year and we fucking traded it away.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
But also, I wasn't saying only thing. I was just saying I feel like that's a big thing.
No, I know.
No, that's a good point though, Casey. That would make a huge difference. And I mean, like you said, that would take a lot of pressure off of our young cornerbacks too. You know what I mean?
Well, because exactly, and that's the problem. They say that the shell defense is predicated on getting pressure on the quarterback, and we just didn't do it, and we didn't have corner, and that's the thing. You can't mix no pressure with with giving the. I'm
gonna tell you cannot run shell defense with a bunch of slow old guys out there too. Like that, I don't know what they were thinking. Like coming in saying, "Yeah, we got Eric Kendricks. We're gonna go get Hicks, and we're gonna run shell defense." Like, come on, dog. Like even Harrison Smith. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Like right there. But that is it's such a Minnesota thing, because Minnesota sports fan Jamie and Justin, you guys can probably attest to this. Certain Minnesota sports fans get so attached to those players that they've seen forever. Yeah. Like, honestly, we'll talk baseball here for 1 second. Luis Arraez. Love Luis Arraez. I think he's a great hitter, all this stuff. I was fine trading him because you traded him for something you needed more than a contact singles hitter, but the fans love him because he just won a batting title. He's a nice guy in the locker room. It's like, that's fine. And I'm not saying you should get people that are locker room cancers, but I'm just like, Minnesota sports fans get so Jalen Ramsey to those guys we've watched play forever.
On time.
So it's just, I think that's part of the problem. And that's, I don't know if these GMs come in, that's just how they start feeling. But, everyone's like, I want to see them re-sign to Kendricks. Like, yeah, I like Kendricks. And he was fine. He was fine 3 years ago.
Kendricks got to go. I'm sorry. And I love Kendricks.
He's a Ring of Honor guy the day after he retires, but he got to go.
He just lost the step, bro. You know what's sad too, though, is that this year was wasted with those guys because of switching the scheme to this defense. Because I honestly do feel like this might sound crazy, but let's just say Ed Donatell didn't get fired, right? And he goes into next season. I actually feel like they would probably take a step forward. Like, am I saying they would be top 10? No, but I do think they probably would technically be a little, because you can't get no worse than what you were this year. You feel me? And I think those guys would probably understand it a little more, even though they lost a step. I think they would be able to use their smarts enough to know where to be on the field. You know what I mean? Because you could tell they were confused a lot, bro. This last playoff game, did y'all notice when they said, okay, we're gonna let the vets take over? Did y'all notice Shannon Sullivan and Duke Shelley out there with their hands up, like, hey, where am I supposed to line up? Like, it just looked crazy at the beginning, and the crowd noise was part of that. Like, they couldn't hear, and it was just a disaster out there, bro. Like, it really was. You know what I'm saying? So. I don't know, man. But I agree with that. I think we need the youth fountain needs to spray, bro. Like every other team's doing it, and these guys are coming out of college now, ready to play right away. They're super fast, super strong. Like let us have some of those guys, man. I want to see it. You know what I'm saying?
No more sacred cows. Sacred cows got to be put out.
But I don't want to get rid of everybody, because there's some guys that I know y'all said get rid of, like Dalvin Cook. We can get on Dalvin Cook right now. We can
you guys. Now this is my Kirk Cousins moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this. There's a lot of people that want to get rid of him, but I'm gonna tell you, people think that the run game is just so easily replaced. But ask 28 teams if the run game is easy. Ask the Bills how easy it is to replace a running back. You feel me? Like, I'm just telling you right now, like, somebody like Dalvin Cook, you can't just go and just pick up some guy and think that you're going to replace Dalvin Cook. I'm going to just let it be known right now. So we can't be mad if our run game, now the cap and all that, I understand that, you know what I mean? The money we can free up, but I feel like there's enough veterans on the team where we can free up money and I think Dalvin will restructure, to be real, but we can free up money elsewhere. You don't want to move off a guy that really kept us in games and is still hitting home runs. You feel me? Like, he's still making big plays, and he's a good locker room guy. He's a leader that you can't teach. Like, he's born with that. And until he shows me different, I'm on Dalvin Cook's train. That's all I'm saying. Until he shows
me and Jamie we just recorded our running back reviews for 2022. That'll be coming out Saturday. Where we
I don't want to spoil it, man.
Where we had some different opinions on that. So
okay. Yeah, let's hear it. Let's go around the table, man. Go ahead, Casey, man. Casey ready, man. Go ahead, Casey.
Let Casey do the Dalvin Cook thing.
I know you're ready to spill on Dalvin real quick.
Like, you kind of said it. Like, where you are with Kirk and like production and money, is where I am with Delvin. Like, I get it. Like, and I told Jamie, and I said it in the video, I still gave him a B grade for the season because he had a couple huge plays that turned games. Buffalo, huge play that turned that game around. Huge play in against the Colts. You know, like
Miami.
Yep. And Delvin is a fantastic locker room guy, great leader, and like kind of like you said about Kirk, I think Delvin's a good dude. I like Delvin a lot. I think he's, you know, solid leader in the locker room. Everybody loves him, but also it's just paying him $14 million for running into. I mean, I get it, offensive line has something to do with it, but I feel like he just dances too much. He doesn't break tackles like he used to back in the day. Like, you're paying him for his prime, and he's just not there anymore. And that happens a lot because you pay a guy before and the contract goes out for years, and eventually they do decline. But I don't know. I just think that there's not enough there to be taking the $14 million cap hit. Now, if he agrees to take some sort of pay cut, by all means. But I think if you could get him in a capacity where he's a 50-50 guy, like splitting, or maybe even like 75-25, like splitting more than he was with Madison, where me and Jamie looked, Delvin had 256 carries to Madison's 75.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think it's time to move on.
You're just ready to move on. And that's cool. That's cool to feel like that too. You know what I mean? A lot of people actually are more on that train than they are on my train.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah, like way more people are on that train than they are with keeping them. You know what I mean? Like, but go ahead, Jamie. I want to hear what you guys say. Jamie, go ahead.
It's the contract thing for me. I think at $14 million, I don't think Delvin Cook is as good as he was even a year ago. I think we seen like a step back from him in like yards per carry and all those areas. And I also agree with Casey that he isn't breaking tackles. At the end of the day, he's still what Casey would want to say, a Pro Bowl alternate. He's still a Pro Bowl running back. He's still a Pro Bowl running back who had over 1,000 yards. I was hoping to see him more in the pass game this season. We didn't really get to do that. But I do think like just $14 million, if it really came down to like, pay him $14 million or not, it's hard to pay any running back $14 million, especially one that I think has maybe lost a little step, even though I think he could still get it done. No questions asked. So I think for me, if it came down, I think you'd want to find some sort of restructure. I don't know if he does that after a Pro Bowl season, 1,000-yard season, but $14 million, you got to, for him, you have to see how.
What would be the right? So let me ask y'all this, right? What would be the dollar amount before you speak your opinion, Day? Like, what's the dollar amount you guys are looking for Dalvin?
I'd be comfortable at $8 million a year.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's fair. Because my thing is this: like, if you want good services, you got to pay for it. You know, just like anything in life. You feel me? You want good services, you got to pay for it. Now, Ty Chandler could possibly be the next Barry Sanders. We don't know. You know what I mean? But I just feel like it's just hard. Like, Dalvin's probably the one player on the team other than Thielen, which I feel like Thielen definitely, like, we should move off. Like, unless Thielen just wants to play just to play for the Vikings. You feel me? Because I love Thielen. Y'all know that's the jersey hanging behind me. Like, he was like one of my favorite Vikings of all time other than Moss. But, you know, I just feel like he's definitely on the decline. He showed us this year that he's obviously on the decline. I think with Dalvin, part of it with Dalvin for me was he was so worried about getting injured because he gotten injured every season. So you could tell some of those runs he was getting down a little sooner than he should have, you know what I mean, and getting tripped up and stuff like that. But, you know, I just think he still got it, bro. I think Dog is a workhorse, like the way he works out. And I think we keep him one more year and let him show us, man, what he can do, because I see him going to the Pro Bowl again.
I'd be totally cool with that for sure.
And I agree with the $8 million for sure. That sounds about fair.
See, yeah, my number is like at half. If you could cut his contract in half, I'd be fine with like 7-ish.
$14 million for any running back is tough.
And we got to remember too that the cap went up $16 million this year too.
It did, yeah. But the thing that I think, so here's where my whole thing breaks down and why I thought the Ty Chandler draft pick made sense and why I was a little bit disappointed with the way they used Delvin this year is you look at the Rams team, Super Bowl winning Rams team under McVay. They didn't use like running backs traditionally, like Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers. Yeah, they got their carries, but they were involved a lot more in the passing game, which is why as soon as we drafted Ty Chandler and watched those highlights, I'm like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to switch to that where you throw the ball to the running backs more, and that's why I thought Chandler is going to fit this offense down the road. And with Delvin, like we saw it, you know, he's able to do that. We saw it in college, we saw it in the past. So I was hoping we would get him involved in the pass game more than just screens. and we never did it. And that's why I was a little bit disappointed. And that's not on him, obviously. That's more on O'Connell, which I had, I loved Kevin O'Connell. I think he's going to be a fantastic head coach. I could see him here forever for a long time.
Me too.
I also felt like he has a long way to go as an offensive play caller, and he's still young. So I feel like he didn't use all of his pieces to the best visibility. I think it was form team around Justin Jefferson and then go from there. And he never really found the best ways to use everybody else. So I was hoping to see a different usage out of Delvin this year. And again, not blaming that on Delvin. It's not his fault. I just was disappointed we never got to see that. Never got to see more Delvin in like the receiving game. And you guys noticed, speaking of, sorry, just running on a tangent here, we didn't see many slant routes. Like, I understand you don't want to live and die by the slant route, but they're helpful sometimes. Yeah. We never seem to run them.
No, I agreed. That was something that I had said about, you know what? It's obvious to anybody that Adam Thielen has declined. KJ Osborne runs a really good slant route. Okay, it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 7. Run a slant route to KJ Osborne instead of doing these dipsy doodle backwards laterals and all that.
Throwing it back to Kirk Cousins on 3rd and 1. Yeah, I'm done with that.
Dalvin Cook jump passes, that sort of thing. To wrap up the conversation about Dalvin Cook. Yeah, Dalvin Cook is one of those luxuries that if your team is in a different position than what the Vikings are, I hear everything what you're saying, right? But they don't have they can't afford that kind of luxury. Yes, Dalvin Cook, what'd you say, 6th or 7th most rushing yards in the league?
He's
and all
6.
That good
he
stuff.
Finished with 6. Yeah.
All of that is great, but what does that get you? Okay, if you had the 6th running back or if you had the 16th running back.
Well, hold on. Before you say what does that get you, let's go back. He's the one who opened up the doors in the Buffalo game. The Colts game was the game-winning touchdown screen. The Miami game, he put the nail in the coffin. I mean, must we continue? Like, this guy's a X factor, bro. We're not just talking about some guy. Like, if the thing is this, those particular games, the Bills game, the Colts game, if we had Alexander Madison as our RB1, we're not winning those games. I mean, we just gonna put it simple.
I agree.
Let me ask it like this: if you could get your hands on a kicker that was guaranteed, not up until the NFC Championship game, but including the NFC Championship game and beyond. Thank you, Gary Anderson. Yeah. Guaranteed to make every field goal from 60 yards plus, every extra point, but he was going to cost you $8 million a year. Is that a good value?
Hell yeah! What?
Yeah, no, it's of course not. You're not going to pay $8 million for a kicker, even if he's the best kicker.
Hold on, you said if you know for a fact that he will never miss a kick, like he will hit everything 65 and beyond, and just never miss.
Justin Tucker make?
Let's find out.
He probably makes up around there. I mean,
my point is that there is no kicker on the planet that's worth $8 million a year against your salary cap. There's no kicker on the planet.
You said Dalvin was ranked 14th, not 6th. No, he was ranked 6th in yards. For the season.
But so where I'm going with that
is Tucker's about $6 million.
Well, that was a restructure bonus,
which is insane. Which is absolutely insane.
Which is utterly insane. But my point is that a kicker can't make that much of a difference. And I'm not saying that Dalvin didn't make differences at times this year. You've mentioned the 3 games where, he put the Miami game on ice. He, tied up the game against the Colts and then started the comeback against the Bills. That's all well and good. Yeah. But this team has too many holes. And to your point about other veterans that we can make some money, if we're going to go down the road of saving some money by getting rid of Thielen or saving some money by getting rid of Kendricks or Zadarius Smith as another example, to me, if you've got 5 players you can do that with, why do it for 3 or 4? You should do it for all 5 and start and just get as much as you can out of restructuring yes, if he restructured
only reason why I say don't do it to all of them is because it's important to have veterans on your team. All right, now we can't just have a bunch of young guys running around it. Like, as much as we want the youth fountain to flow, we have to keep some veterans have to be out there for sure. Like, to keep these guys and teach these guys the ropes, so you can't just clear everybody. You know what I mean? You have to keep some people there.
I'm just saying that running backs and linebackers are the most dispensable positions out there. We talked about it earlier.
You say that, you could say that, but you say that running backs are that, but go ask 2018 or just go ask team. You can pick whatever team you want other than a team that has a superstar running back. Ask them how easy running backs are to replace.
You just brought up Kansas City. Who's Kansas City got?
they got Patrick Mahomes. They don't really need a running game like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't need a running game.
Right.
At the end of the
but
day,
we do.
But if you need a running back like that, then you got bigger problems, and you should be fixing those other areas before you trying to fix running back. That's right.
But see, and Rap, I know you mentioned with running backs, you mentioned the Bills earlier. It's like, I don't know if them having an all-star running back would change anything because they center that offense around Josh Allen so much that I just don't think they use the running backs enough as it is.
But I think it could, though. I think it could. I think if they had a star running back, I think that would make their offense far more dynamic.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I pretty much say that to say, like, you know, running backs aren't just like, I mean, think about it. Like, if you think about 32 teams, I mean, every running back isn't just this great running back. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of teams. There's way more teams that are still struggling to find their RB1 that can really make a difference than there is teams that have that guy already. And we're one of the teams that actually has a running back where opposing teams have to look at us and say, you know what, we got to stop number 4 because if number 4 gets hot, bro, he will win this game for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is.
And he can open up a game with an 80-yard run, and not every running back can do that.
Not every running
backs, Adrian Peterson and Delvin Cook back to back.
But also, I thought they also used Delvin wrong.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. They used them wrong.
And but that's the thing. Like my dad's been saying this for years. We use running backs wrong all the time. Adrian Peterson, I get it. You run it up the gut 10 times on the 11th try, he's gonna bust one for 80 yards.
Yeah.
But it's just like and Delvin, he's not like he's powerful, but he's not that guy, especially behind the middle of that offensive line that's a little bit smaller. It's too much up the gut. If you get him out in space when he
has to get in space. He has to get in space, man. And we should have used him in the pass game a lot more. A lot more, bro.
He's not Derrick Henry to where you give him the ball up the gut, you know, every play because he's going to do something with it every time. You know, it's just I just thought they used him wrong, and maybe that's part of my gripe. I don't know. And this year I can't even fall back on the injury excuse because he was fine most. You know, he got dinged up a little bit. He was fine most of the season.
Yeah, and this is his first season that he really played the whole season, right? I believe.
Yep. Like, I mean, he missed a couple plays here and there, but he came back in.
And I see what Nano was saying. Like,
that's the thing with
right? Yeah, and I see what Nano's saying. Like, you know, this is the time to trade him because other teams will look at Cook and be like, "Oh, damn, y'all don't want him? Okay, yeah, we."
But that's a hard thing. Is with his salary cap, our team's gonna do that? That's what's the hard part. Like 14 mil, like no one wants to.
Well, a lot of that is
you could literally be the best. Like what Justin was saying.
The Vikings would eat some of that. The Vikings would eat some of that because some of that is bonus money. So if a team were to trade for him, then I'll pull him over the cap. But at the same time,
over the cap is awesome, by the way. I love that.
Shout out to over the cap, man.
Yeah, there you go. Right. No, what I was saying is that trading players isn't as cumbersome to the team that gets the player because the team that trades the player ends up eating a lot of all bonus money is deaded the moment you trade that player away. So as an example, for Dalvin Cook, he's $14 million next year. But guess what? If the Vikings were to trade him, the team that takes him on is only taking on $3 million.
Yeah.
The Vikings are going to get deaded about 11.
True.
So in that case, maybe cut him, right?
Yeah. So in that case, it's worth going ahead and keeping him, right?
No, I'm saying that the Vikings keep him, it costs 14. If you were to trade him, it would the team taking him on would only take on 3. They would take.
And then if we cut him, it's like half and half, right? We say
if we cut him, they would. If they cut him, they would dead 6, which is 3 this year and 3 next year. But the point I'm making is that. Excuse me, it'd be 10, not 3. 3 is.
But we're not cutting him. That's out the question.
We're
not cutting him.
You're not going to cut him. The team that take him would take on 10. So it's,
to get cut is the most
I think they'll cut him. I think they'll cut him.
They'll cut him. That's disrespectful, bro.
No.
If they were to cut Dalvin Cook, bro, that would be.
They would trade him before they would cut him.
Get out of here. Seriously, it's hard, man. We've seen some crazy cuts and
that's true.
You know, not the Vikings really, but
I doubt Dalvin's the guy.
I hope they don't. I wouldn't want that to happen.
Right.
Like, he doesn't deserve that.
But talking about
linebackers, point to Nano's point, if a team called you and offered you if a team offered you a 3rd round pick for Dalvin Cook, you got to take it. You got to take it.
Right.
I guess it depends on what you get.
Like you don't save money, but you gain draft capital, especially when we don't have much right now.
Right.
Like Yeah, you got to take what
this
you
is my thing. I'm riding for Cook so heavy because I feel like he has one more explosive year. Like, I'm not saying that this guy needs to be our running back for the next 3-4 years. Like, I'm saying 1 year. Like, that's it. This season right here, this next season, because he played a full season healthy. I think this offseason, his body's really gonna get right. You know what I mean? Because he's a hard worker. You know what I mean? Like, he works out in the offseason, man. He puts in that work, and you could tell. You know what I'm saying? His body always looked good. So I just think one more year of Dalvin, but like y'all say with the cap, obviously there's money involved in this, that, and the third, and you got to admit it's a business. And I'm going to trust Kwesi and them to make the right decisions. But I know that keeping a couple veterans on the team, it's definitely going to play a big part in our success.
Yeah. You know what I mean? The other thing you have to look at it too is that his trade value is highest right now. Like let's say right now Rapp was offered.
Oh, it's Kirk Cousins.
I agree with you. That's a whole nother conversation.
He just has to make a. Except the trade clause.
If you were offered a 4th round pick, Rap, would you do it for a 4? Would you do it?
I wouldn't do it for a 4. I absolutely won't.
Well, my point is,
you wanna know why? You wanna know why I won't? Because I know that I know we like Alexander Madison, but I'm telling you right now, Alexander Madison is not Dalvin Cook, bro.
But he's a free agent.
He's a free agent.
We're not keeping him. I don't think.
No,
he's not. I don't think switching to Madison from Dalvin Cook. It would not be as good as having Dalvin Cook. I think that'd be a mistake for sure.
Absolutely. We're gonna be like, man, our run game is not good this year. That's the reason why we're losing, because we just can't run game.
That's what we would do. We have no run game.
We got no run game.
Can't be expected to lead us if we don't have
Dalvin Cook somewhere running for like 1,400 yards. You know?
Yeah.
But before we start talking about running backs, the other position you mentioned, Justin, was linebacker. And I think,
that's important.
Another reason why, so moving on from Eric Kendricks, I believe on Over the Cap, it said if you cut him, you save like $9.5 million. That's like $1 million dead, right? $1.5 million dead.
I'll pull it up here right now, but that sounds about right.
I think that's about what.
Yeah, $9.5 million saved, $1.5 million.
And you feel comfortable because we got Brian Asamoah. He's one of the rookies we drafted last year that I think has an insanely bright future.
He should have been played.
You want to talk about locker room leader? He's already shown. He's the guy with the boombox and having a good time or whatever. He's posting pictures in Minnesota, freezing his ass off like the rest of us are.
You ain't lying.
Except for Jamie and Rapp, but you guys are.
Rapp's on the coast, South Carolina.
Man, I'm in 70. It was 70.
I'm
wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing a hoodie because it's cold in my house while my wife got the AC on like 60.
but also like the guys got charisma on the field. Like Jamie, as you saw like last year in our previews, I had him in our top 5 because I just loved his explosiveness and his speed. And he's got that in bunches. That's what this defense needs. We need fast. I think he's going to be a major player. I mean, a little undersized, sure, but so was Kendricks when he was at his peak too. So I think Asamoah is going to have a huge season.
I ain't gonna lie, Casey. The way that boy punched that ball out, size ain't a thing with him. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That boy's a savage.
Got heart, and that's all you need.
Heart of a lion, bro.
Yep, that's sometimes all you need.
And that's how he was with Oklahoma too. He was kind of like heart and soul of the defense, and that was like one of the big reasons why we liked him coming into the draft by itself, let alone his speed,
football
definitely speed, and his motor. Man, his motor, like motor is something you can never teach. Right, like you either have that or you don't.
Exactly,
and he has that. So we do have a bright future with him. Hopefully here. I also want to bring up again. Let's see here. We are giving away this Justin Jefferson rookie card. All you got to do is hashtag Skol in the comments to enter this. We have 1 entry right now. So this person is going to get a free card. So someone else better jump in on this hashtag Skol in the comments. Yeah, we'll let I don't care who jumps in. Anybody can jump in.
I already got mine. I'll stay.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, because I don't got no cards. I don't got no cards either, man. That actually would be fire if I win. I ain't gonna catch it. But hey, when are y'all gonna start? When are y'all gonna start doing your draft videos? GG. When y'all gonna start doing your draft videos?
We got to make it through our like positional previews first, which we're not very far in. So hopefully, because
it's hard because you kind of want to time it like when that starts. As soon as the Super Bowl is over, then the offseason like officially starts and stuff, So it's like I want to kind of time it out so people are also like the watchers are kind of ready for all the draft stuff as well. I mean, obviously Viking fans probably are starting to, but we need to find a defensive coordinator and then figure out and then do a little bit more free agency stuff, I think. Yeah. And then
we're gonna do
we're gonna do a mock draft probably even next week. but get those going early.
Because like once you get the defensive coordinator in, then you know what type of defense you're going to be playing, and then you know what you need. I mean, we already you already have some positions down, but like once we decide if we're going to be 4-3-3-4, then it's like, okay, now who does this team like? What do we really need? And what do we decide to do with the likes of Daniel Hunter, which we didn't even get him into him at all? If you want to talk about trade, he's probably one of the more tradable assets this team has. Would love to keep him, but I don't think he fits in a 3-4. And I think for his career, and it's because he's only 28 years old, for the future of him, I think he requests a trade if we stay in a 3-4, because I think he is meant to be a 4-3 pass rusher.
Yeah. I think I'd keep him in 3-4 even. I don't know. We would. His talent is just career.
But for his career,
can't find those guys.
Right. But for his career, it's best for him to get into a 4-3 team, because he's going to get hopefully in his career 2 more decent sized contracts. Like maybe a 2 or 3 year deal now, and then sign maybe another one when he's done. But because he got put in a bad situation with his injuries where he never got that first big contract. For him, unfortunately.
Right.
So.
And the reason why I asked y'all that, man, because everybody watching, man, like GG be going in on their draft, man. They called a lot of these guys even last year. They were hitting it on the head. So y'all make sure when it's time, man, y'all tap in.
No luck at all.
Yeah, y'all tap in, man. Y'all make sure y'all tap in and look. And like if y'all tapping in, y'all ain't hitting the like button or commenting, you're a thief, bro. Stop doing that. You know what I mean? Like quit stealing. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, y'all make sure y'all tap in. And goddamn watch them, because I be taking notes from them, man. Because y'all know my videos on the draft. This is how I do. Hey, go check this guy out. He's a savage. I want him at the Vikings. You know what I mean? The end. You feel me? Like that's how my videos go. The end. Straight like that. You know what I mean? For sure.
No, I want everybody good. Attention on that one.
We get into it. So anybody else who wants, like, if anyone gets really in on this, like looking into some of these players coming up in these drafts and want to get that deep dive and come up with some mock drafts and all that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah,
for them
tapping that. Anyone that even wants to pop on and jump into some of the videos and give their thoughts on some of these players. Like right now, I don't know what
that'd be a flyer segment for y'all to do. Actually, you know what I mean? Like when you're doing like your draft like players and have people jump on and kind of give you their opinions. That'd be fine.
We did that last year. We did a live draft or like a live stream mock draft, and we got.
We did. That was tough though. That was tough because we had a few beers earlier on, thinking we were going to be done after the 12th.
Drinking on the job?
No, Jamie.
Oh, I thought you meant the live stream, actually the in draft live stream.
Full first round draft.
No, we went. Yeah, we're waiting until the 12th round, so we had a few beers. Oh, we're going to be done because other people are in there, having beers too, probably. But and then obviously we traded to the last pick of the draft, so it was like so it just got prolonged. It ended up being like 3 hours long instead of the 1 hour. But,
because we could have drafted, but like let's talk about him for a bit. Instead, it's just like, oh god, now what?
We weren't.
I'm gonna definitely do one. I'm gonna definitely do one with y'all this year, man. I want to join that.
Let's do it. Let's make it
because y'all know RAP want everybody good. I don't give a damn. I want every pick in the first round, man. Give me.
Well, and I'm pretty sure
Dale, all of them.
I'm pretty sure StreamYard can have like 10 guests at once. So, just
we're going to have a party. We're going to have us a mock party.
It's hard. I guess I'll put it out there. What y'all doing Sunday? You guys going to parties? Are y'all going to stream? What are y'all doing?
For what?
Sunday.
I think it's too early. It's too early now. Super Bowl? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm probably just going to watch it.
I'll probably just hang out.
Yeah, I'm probably just watching it.
Well, I'm in Colorado. It's just me and my wife. So we're freaking.
You ain't far from Kansas City. You're right there, man.
Yeah,
you're right
true.
There. You definitely got to go for the Chiefs.
I'll just go. Yeah, I'll go there with my Vikings jersey on.
I'm hoping it's a good game. Or
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs gonna humble the Eagles, man. I think they're gonna humble them. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're gonna humble them.
Booth, come on, man. Stop. I don't know if we had Booth in our top 5. I think he was our number 5.
He was
our number
there.
5.
Yep.
So we had
because it was Sauce, it was Stingley, it was McDuffie. Who was the other big cornerback that year?
Daxton Hill, I think.
Daxton Hill safety. Yeah, he's a safety.
Yeah, he was on a Michigan.
I forgot who our 4th one is. And then Andrew.
No, let me tell you.
Elam. It was Elam. It was Elam. And then I don't know how he did this season.
He had a decent season.
Tariq Woolen was like the top. Was like one of the. Tariq Woolen was great this year.
Yeah, we didn't.
Tariq Woolen
we missed on that.
Yeah, we missed on that.
We missed on
and Kobe
Woolen.
Bryant.
No, I picked George Pickens.
So who was the guy that played with Sauce?
His name's like Reed, right? I think it's like Reed, something. Because I think
he's playing for the. He plays for the not Chiefs. He plays for. I thought one of the teams that played on Sunday.
Oh, you talking about Kobe Bryant? Kobe Bryant played with Sauce. Yeah, he plays for the Seahawks. Yeah, he's with.
Rat's got the Super Bowl party this year.
Oh, we're going to my house. Hey, come on, you already know,
hey,
man.
Dude, I'm ready to go to a beach, man. I'm ready to go to the beach.
For sure. I'm right here. Man. For sure. Yeah, man.
Anywhere be warmer than where I'm at right now. I'll tell you that. Holy cow.
Colorado's not too bad. It's not. It's compared to Minnesota. It's a lot.
That's the only thing that keeps me from moving to Minnesota. Because to be honest with you, I would love to be in the city where my team is at. Because I would go to every single home game. Like I wouldn't miss one.
It's not worth it to me.
I mean, but the cold, bro. Like the cold, man. I'm just like, yo. Like
I never lived in the cities though. I never lived in the city, so I don't
know
how that
-12. There ain't no way in hell.
-12 for 20 days straight.
And actually, we didn't talk about Harry either. I want to bring that up. I'd be fine with restructuring Harrison Smith. Personally, because you don't save a lot by cutting him. You don't really save much unless he decides to just straight up retire. I'm definitely in on restructuring Harrison Smith and keeping him around. Jamie, for our top 5 corners, we had one difference where you had Stingley at 2, McDuffie at 3. I flip-flopped that, but said Stingley could be at 2 if he wasn't injured going into the draft. But
yeah,
I think we're gonna make videos about how we did last week.
We'll find out a lot of plans and not a lot of time.
Yeah, I know.
I had some guy comment on my Tank Dell video and was like, yo, I trust you because you called Petrie last year. And I'm like, damn, all right. I'm turning into a draft specialist
number 6.
I'm turning into Mel Kiper out here. All right, I got you. Do it. I feel the vibes. For real. No, you want to know what's crazy? That kid that Mel Kiper has us drafting out of Mississippi State, the same school that Cameron Dancer went to, he has the most pick sixes in college history for a season, I think. Damn. Like he looks like a Sauce Gardner type guy, like his swagger and stuff. He's
you still on Witherspoon?
Oh yeah, I want if we can get Witherspoon. You know what's crazy is when I actually noticed Witherspoon like probably like a month ago, you know what I mean? Because I tend to like go and watch like their opposing team quarterback videos, like every throw and stuff, just so I can see them playing in between plays, so it ain't just highlights. And like when I seen him, bro, I'm like, yo, he reminds me so much of just like a young Jalen Ramsey, like somebody who just like tackles somebody and like shrugs his shoulders and just, just looking for problems, bro. Like
we could use a little bit of that fire on this.
We need that, bro. Like who on our team is mean, bro? Nobody. Like we're tackling opponent, helping them up and stuff. Like, nah, man. Like we need that guy that's out there like F the other side.
We should have gotten Dominican too, man. We had the chance.
Exactly, man. Like
steps on people.
The Allen Iverson step or the Allen Iverson step over and stuff. Like we need that type of. That's the vibe we need, man. And he's a player like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's real cocky, and it's okay to be that when you're a cornerback. You know, you just gotta have a short memory.
You need that, man.
Look at Sauce is the biggest example of that. He came in saying, I'm going to be the same guy I was in college. And
you are going to want a touchdown. Yeah. Sauce.
Exactly, man. So, that's why I'm like trying to scout players like that are realistic. And realistically, we can get him. But I mean, as the days go, he's kind of moving up the board now. I think he's turning into like the number 1 cornerback all of a sudden. I'm like,
I was just going to mention that because I think today Daniel Jeremiah came out with his first like rankings or whatever. And he had Witherspoon at number 5.
And you want to know why?
Way up there.
You want to know why? Because the craziest stat he has is like when he plays press man, like he's only allowed 1 completion, bro. Yeah, like that's crazy. Like that is a crazy stat, and he's had the ball thrown at him, sometimes. You feel me? And like he's a lockdown. He's a true definition of a lockdown man cover, dog.
Right. That was like Sauce, man. By this point of the year, last year, Sauce, there was a good chance that Sauce lands to us at 12, if not even. Some people had him as a mid round, and it was like by the draft, it was like, all right, he's going to be a top 5 pick for sure.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen with Witherspoon. But, this draft is definitely going to be very, again, heavy with cornerbacks. These cornerbacks are getting better because they, you got people who want to go against the grain. And, the popular thing to do is be a wide receiver at a young age right now. Like these 15, 16-year-olds, they all want to be wide receivers. But then you got your other crew who's like, man, I'm going to stop you from catching the ball. You know what I mean? And these guys are getting just as good. Like they're training just as hard. So, there's a lot as the years are going, man, you're starting to notice like these cornerbacks are really coming out now and they're ready, man. They ready for all the smoke. You know what I mean? They know they have to come in against Justin Jeffersons and things like that. And they're ready for the smoke, man. And he's one of them. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you got to need on that cornerbacks for sure. You have
we've been running for almost personality. We've been running for almost an hour and 40 minutes here.
I know, right?
All right,
man. I'm ready when y'all are, man. Yeah, if y'all want to go
let's run this giveaway. Yeah.
Rap, if you win this, they're gonna say it's rigged.
Hey man, it is what it is.
All right, one last time. Hashtag Skol in the comments.
Hashtag Skol in the comments.
Hashtag Skol in the comments to win this Justin Jefferson rookie card. That's it. Easy, free, all that good stuff. We'll give you one more minute. I don't know
because if I win it, y'all are gonna see it like behind me on my podcast shows. Because I'm gonna put it on the wall or something somewhere. We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
But I'd rather somebody else win though. Obviously, like I'd rather one of the fans win. Like y'all ain't putting hashtag Skol. See, that would get me upset. Is y'all sitting there, y'all watching our content. We gonna give y'all 2 more minutes. Y'all sitting there watching the content. Get involved. Let's go.
This is actually
2 more entries. Good,
a pretty good one too, man.
Let's go, Nano. There we go. Come on, man. Hashtag Skol. Quit playing. Hashtag Skol. We should see. Man, matter of fact, hold up. Let me see how many people watching this. Hey, Lemmy Smith, we don't want to see nothing but hashtag Skol. You ain't playing hashtag Skol, then you ain't talking about that right now.
Hey, let's go. Hashtag Skol. Corey, that's another buddy.
We got 7 people watching on Minnesota Sports Talk, and so that's 7. Let me see. And
here goes Lemmy Smith. Let's go. Now we're getting some people.
There should be at least 10 of them.
Jamie,
2 Eva the Hope, hashtag Skol. 2 Eva the Hope, hashtag Skol. Let's go.
I think he did it earlier. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't do that. Rap does a lot. Just keep. We just say, okay, guys, go ahead and do it. And we just sit back.
That's what we got to do better at.
Rap.
That's what we got to do better at.
Yeah, let's go, man. Do not be a thief.
Let's run this.
Let's get it. Come on, RAP win.
RAP
win.
Bangino, you funny.
Does it just do it? Does it just do it like it generates it by itself? Like you just click.
Yeah, all you have to do is hashtags. It's part of the StreamYard thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh,
it's pretty
cool.
Cool.
That's fire.
Yeah. So all I have to do is press it, and you'll see all the names come up. And we're about to do it in 3, 2, 1. Let's see who it is. Let's go.
That's fire. I want that.
Let's go. Corey.
It almost stopped on my name.
Lemmy.
Let's
go.
Let's go. Justin Jefferson card. Let's eat.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Michelle, man. I'm so glad.
He has to be in here just because I have to get your information.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I think just put that in too.
He did. So he's still here. He's still here, I bet. He's got
he's in. He's on 2 minutes ago.
Follow. I'm not sure if you follow us. Everybody in here, subscribe. We got to all our channels: GG Sports Podcast, Minnesota Sports Podcast, or Sports Talk, Purple Pocket Podcast, and Purple and Gold for Days. Subscribe to those channels. Yes, sir. Selbo, go find us on Twitter or Instagram and follow us there and DM us so we can get the information to your mailing address.
For sure.
Facts. That's fire, man. Yeah. I want to start doing, man. Y'all inspiration, man. I need to start doing little giveaways, man. I feel like I'm being stingy, man. Tell me about it too, even though, man. I'm mean and I don't give away shit yet. I ain't give away shit
man, yet. You selling yourself short, man. You don't have that.
Hey, hold up. Matter of fact, while we on here, man, hold on. While we on here, I got something to give away.
Just do that.
I bought this picture right here and I never used it, man. It's who want this picture, man? Y'all want to do? We're gonna do a giveaway.
What is that? It's reflective. We can't even see what it is.
You know what? This cost me $30. This is actually from an artist in Charleston. I bought it. Like literally, I bought it because it's for college tuition. You know what I mean? So I was that's always my soft spot when like people come in and they're like, "Oh, this is my children's pictures. We're selling them for $30 to go towards their tuition." So I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of fire though, man. It's holographic. You see it, man? Let's do it." And that's fire, man. Y'all inspiration, man. I love those giveaways.
You want me to run it?
Yeah, shit. You can run it. Let's run it. Who want this picture, man? This picture fire. You can hang it on it's brand new.
Wrong person.
Hold on. Yeah, put me on it. Hey, look at that. That boy is an astronaut. We going out of space, man. I think that's a
going outer space. Let's go.
No.
All right, we're gonna run this outer space painting.
Hashtag PPP.
There you go. Yeah. Jamie, start it up again. Start up another one.
Yeah. Let me see how to do it like that. Oh.
I feel like giving away. To be real, I'm gonna start buying jerseys and stuff to throw.
Yeah, I want to keep trying to build this shit up as we grow for sure.
Oh, Nano Joe's already in. You started it yet, man.
Hold on.
Random picture.
Hey, it's space stuff. Dude. Space is
Hey,
cool,
Dylan,
right?
you an asshole, man.
Hey, we're giving away stuff. Let's do it. All right. Hashtag PPP.
No, it's
Hashtag
PPP
PPP.
Bandino. Oh, Nano, you funny, dude.
Hashtag PvP, man. This thing brand new, man. I was actually gonna hang it, but I'm like, it ain't really got nothing to do with the Vikings. But guess what? You can use it. Somebody in your family, you can give it to somebody.
That thing's sweet.
It actually is pretty cool, though. I ain't gonna lie, it is pretty fire.
Nano, you ain't even funny, dude.
That shit was funny, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was hilarious. Hey, y'all ain't right. Hey, y'all know once we get back, once we get on Purple Pocket Podcast, man, I'm gonna have this conversation with y'all now. You know what I mean? Like,
we have 6 people in. That's good.
Let's get it, man. PPP, let's get it.
Hashtag PPP. Subscribe. Don't forget to go subscribe to these guys. Purple Pocket Podcast, right on YouTube, and Purple and Gold for Days, right on YouTube. Go subscribe to them.
Thank you, guys.
100%. Especially if whoever
this
wins
is fun as hell. I want to give away shit all the time. I'm actually gonna start doing that on my
I would
show.
definitely go subscribe to Purple Pocket Podcast because you're just gonna get a bunch of free shit.
Yeah, for real. Y'all
figures out how much it costs.
To be real, like GG inspired me tonight, bro. Like the way they give away cards and stuff, bro. Like that's fire. And I'm gonna sign it.
This has been JB's plan from the beginning. We just never did it until we started actually doing live streams.
Well, I got really into sport cards in general, so that helped.
Yeah.
All right. Should we run this thing?
Man.
Sign
it.
it.
Sign it. Yeah, you gotta sign it.
That's a fact. I'm gonna sign it. And I'm gonna put F the Packers on there too for you.
There you
go.
F
the Packers. We're gonna make it football.
Dude, that's perfect. Do that. Sign it. F the Packers.
All right, Jamie. Let's run it.
All right, let's run this thing.
Let's do it, man. This is cool as hell. I'm gonna mail it tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Nano,
let's go.
That's
my boy
Nano.
Too. Nano, my boy.
Nano, I'm assuming Nano knows how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, Nano know how to get a hold of me, man. Hit me up on Instagram, Nano.
Yep, Selbo. Remember, hit us up on Instagram or Twitter, whichever. If worst case scenario, comment under this.
Right, trade
comment under this post. We actually gave one card away, and we never heard from the guy, and I have no idea. I still have the card because I'm hoping he pops back in again. But
hey, that's fire. Like, to be real, I'm going to the store tomorrow. Everybody in the chat, like, I'm going to buy some more shit. You know what? I'm gonna just start buying random shit. I'm gonna do giveaways for sure.
Dude, I mean, if you can you just gave away a poster that everybody.
Yeah, this fire too. This shit cost me $30, bro. Like, for real, this shit ain't even. And it's good quality. Sick. It's like real.
I should have jumped in on that one.
Yeah, it's straight though. I'm gonna go get some more stuff, man. I'm gonna start doing giveaways all the time.
There's something cool about a space painting with you signing it and saying "fuck the Packers" on it.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
That's only gonna happen. Like this is the only scenario.
It's gonna be 101, baby.
It is 101. Put 101 on there too. Put 101 on there too.
101. All right. Anyway, we've almost been running for 2 hours here. Yeah, great time, guys. Justin, Rap, thank you guys for joining us in Dave's absence. It was a great show. A lot of Kirk Cousins talk, which is fine. It's always fun. But yeah, I don't know. We're in for a busy off season, and it's exciting yet it's kind of terrifying because who really knows
us as a group, and the other guys, part of our whole thing that's coming here throughout the off season and everything. Which you guys will learn more about that probably through Rap, but
we're giving away muffins, man. Hashtag muffin. No, let me stop.
Give away that Randall jersey.
Oh, that's staying on the wall.
That's a feeling.
There you go, Justin Day. Give away that Randall jersey, boy. Come on now. Everybody else donated something.
I
want that Justin. I want that Day jersey. Sign that Day. Get that Day jersey signed.
Come on, dog.
No, you're good.
Again, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. This was fun tonight for sure, man.
Thanks for joining us. We're at the end here, but thanks Dave Ditter for hopping in. JJ for number 1 pick. Draft
let me think about that. No.
Trey Kirk Cousins second round. I like your style, David. I like your style, David. You know you my boy.
But anyway, everybody, thanks again for hopping in. Appreciate it. Dave will be back rocking it with us next week here on Skol Experience. And a lot of content coming up from everybody here, plus Dave. So hope everybody's ready for a full off season of Vikings content. And thanks for joining. See you guys next time.
Good night. Skol Vikes.